Before we jump in, I want to introduce you to Albert. He's the first AI agency advisor that I've personally trained. After looking at thousands and thousands of agencies over the years, I've mapped out 6 clear stages of growth, and Albert uses this to help you figure out which stage you're in, what's holding you back, and what you need to change next. All you have to do is answer 7 quick questions. It takes you less than 3 minutes, and you can check it out at agencymastery.ai if you want more freedom, more profit, and a smarter path to growth. So go to agencymastery.ai. All right, let's go get in today's episode.
Hey, Cliff, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, excited to have you on. Tell us who you are, what you do.
Oh, who am I? Oh, Jesus, you're going to start with a deep question like that. Who's any of us?
Right.
You're going to start making me reach for my inner Alan Watts. You ever listen to Alan Watts?
Never heard of him.
Oh, you're going to love him. I don't even know what he is, like old school philosopher. I think he probably passed away a long time ago, but he's super interesting. Look how quickly I got off track, eh?
Yeah, exactly. You just don't want to tell people who you are.
That's right. My first tell, though, was that A that I just threw in there.
That's correct. Yeah.
You know right away. That's a Canadian boy right here.
Exactly.
So who am I? I'm a creative Canadian, Northern Ontario, a few hours north of Toronto, nice and hidden, up in the bush up here. There's about 200,000 people around me, but we're in the bush. Agency owner. I like to call it design thinking agency. You know, we do everything from brand identity, video production, strategy, you name it. It kind of runs the gambit. So I guess I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur that doesn't come from like a family of entrepreneurs. One day it was just dawned on me that I'm like, oh, I'm opening a business here. Oh, I'm working on this project here. Oh, I'm doing this other project. Oh, I guess I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah. How did you get started in the agency life? Are you an accidental agency owner like most of us?
Absolutely. Yeah. Tripped right into it. Didn't have my metaphorical shoes tied. Probably didn't even have matching shoes on it. I just tripped and fell right into it. I went to school for communications and a bit of film, and came out, ended up getting an internship at a news agency here in Canada called CTV. Did about everything in the business building. I did reporting all the way up to directing live news. And then I was like, you saw the ceiling. You saw where this was. I was like, nah, I mean, this isn't.
You didn't want to be Ron Burgundy?
I really did want to be Ron Burgundy. Yeah, I really did. But the opportunity wasn't really there for me. And I kind of was like, it was one of those things. People would see me with a camera working for CTV and they would be like, yo, do you do this on the side? And I was like, at first I was like, no. And then I was like, I should buy a camera. And then it was like, okay, I do this on the side. And then the projects kept growing from there, eventually to the point where I had to sit down with HR. And they were like, hey, we're getting into a little territory where like your kind of side hustle is kind of becoming a conflict of interest. And some people were complaining. They were like, why does Cliff get to do that? And
were you creating videos for people or what?
I was creating like all sorts of stuff, but like TV commercials. And like CTV had a department that made TV commercials.
Okay.
And like, so not only did they produce the creative, but they also had the channel, the distribution of the stuff there. So at first I didn't think it would be such a big deal, but I guess some of the clients started to choose to work with me to produce their commercials. And then that's just what happened.
Did they fire you or did you quit?
I quit. They gave me an ultimatum. They basically fired me. They didn't give me much of a choice. It was interesting though, right? Because it was really like I was given the choice. They're like, hey, you could either like, kind of give up your side hustle or you could continue your job here. And
were you making the same amount or more?
Oh, I think I was at this point making more off of the side hustle. I feel like I was. I don't even think I brought in the equation of the dollars. I think at that point, it genuinely was, this is so much more fun doing this business than working here. And it was just like, I think I looked at the HR manager and I'm like, I think you know what the answer is. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And you know what's funny? Because every once in a while, I don't know if this is funny, maybe it's interesting, but like I still bump into people from there, right? Like that still work there.
That still work there.
Probably people that complained about me. We're like, why does he get to do that? But I'm telling you, it's almost like an alma mater. I think I'm using the right term there. Like we're from the same school and they saw me go off and do stuff. And at least what they say to my face is like, we're so proud of you. Like, it's so cool to see one of our own. And I kind of like, there's almost like a division in like broadcast media between like kind of like the behind the camera people and the on camera people. And even though I did some on camera stuff, I was more like part of the like the crew of like behind the camera people. And so those people have seen me kind of go off, and at least what they tell me is like they're like pumped for what I've been able to do. So
cool.
That's always cool to hear.
Yeah, you know, my first job was with Arthur Anderson out of school. And I remember maybe 4 years, probably 4 years after I left, I remember my boss at the time applying to work for us, but she didn't know that I owned it.
Oh, wow. That's wild, dude. That's wild.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is kind of full circle.
That is. And what was the relationship like when you worked?
I mean, we didn't stay in contact, obviously, because she didn't know what I was doing. But
yeah,
it was, I mean, she was a nice boss. But, the thing was that I found, and I still think this is true, when you work for a big company, I used to think when I would hire people, I want to hire the best, and the best come from the biggest companies, right? Because they got big somehow. What I've realized many years ago is they're just not resourceful. It's kind of like the movie Office Space. You have that person, like TPS report. There's 1,000 people that take that one paper down the whole hall. This is the dumbest thing.
You're so correct. I mean, number one, it's so funny because I was telling you that I have 2 older sisters prior to the podcast. And so now I'm bringing it up and the audience is like, why is he bringing up his sisters? But one of my sisters is an entrepreneur. And so we always talking about entrepreneurship and working together. It's funny you mentioned Office Space. 2 days ago, we're in our 40s. I mentioned Office Space to her. She didn't know what it was, Jason.
What? She's never watched that?
How has she not? This has been bugging me for 2 days now. It doesn't even compute in my brain how she's never seen Office. I started quoting stuff, trying to quote stuff. She's like, this is doing nothing. This means nothing to me.
Yeah, I need you to come in. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, geez. Somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
That's the best business movie ever.
That's my thoughts on it. She's also a little bit of an accidental entrepreneur. It wasn't the trajectory for her. She didn't, as a kid, like, when I grow up, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Like me, I knew business people existed. I didn't get the concept of how you even become that. Like, I had no idea how that worked.
I think for me, it was just, I didn't know anything else. I knew I barely could make any money playing tennis.
Okay.
I didn't want to travel and be away all the time. So I was like, I don't want to do that. And I was like, what else is there?
Yeah. You're like, start a business.
Yeah. I got to, I know how to do websites. I was like, I'm creative. Let's just do that.
Okay. So were you good at tennis?
Yeah, I played in college. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I love tennis. I'm not good at it, but I love it. I play a lot of tennis.
Well, I'm into pickleball now.
Oh, you did. You went to the dark side.
I did. Man. Well, the first time I went out, I played with my old buddy that I grew up playing tennis with. And I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, I hate this. This is not a sport. This is not like, I'm going to call it an activity. Right.
Yeah.
And then another friend, maybe a couple of years ago, was like, let's just go out. And I fell in love with it. Like, I'm jumping all around, destroying people. So
oh, Jason, that's so funny. I'm so notorious for dislike. I don't know what this is in me, but I just dislike things at first. And the more I dislike it, the more I end up loving the thing.
Yeah.
And so I'll hold out for as long as I could hold out. And then somehow I get wiggled into this thing. And I know this about myself. Half the time, like me saying I hate pickleball and just being like, oh, dark side or whatever. This is me like full well knowing that once somebody sneaks me into playing it, I'm going to become addicted to it.
You will. I mean, and honestly, it's way easier than tennis.
I don't know if you notice this. There's like, we've got some whites in here. So I am moving into the category where it's probably best for me to consider my options.
Yeah. You just got to be careful, man. People get hurt really easy.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Knock on wood a little bit there.
Just be cautious. Walk us through kind of a period in your agency. Was there ever a point where you're like, man, this sucks? Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
This morning I was getting something else.
Every day.
You mean this morning? You mean every day? You mean like at one point? A lot of times we think of things like a movie. I love the way a movie is structured, right? You've got your like 3 to 4 acts in it, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like it starts off, where you're getting to know everything, and then things start to fall apart, and then you figure out how to put it back together. But I've never found life works that way. I think everything's always happening at once. There's a great song by Royce da 5'9". I'm going to forget the name of the song. And he has one song about how his girl is having his baby, and I think his mother is passing away in the same hospital around at the same time. And the whole kind of theme of the song is that the most beautiful thing in your life could be happening while the most horrific thing in your life could be happening. And there's so many times where that was happening in my career, where my first business partner, when I started off my business, and I won't use names because, why throw them under the bus? I mean, because there were so many great things that came with my first business partner. The reality is, I don't know if I'm an entrepreneur without him, because we were roommates at the time. And when I came home, he had a bunch of papers that are like how to start your own business, right? And that's where we got started, right? He took the initiative to do that stuff, but he also got himself in a lot of trouble, right? He got himself in trouble with the law. He was very dishonest, great storyteller, but it's really easy to tell really good stories when like most of it is made up. Very entertaining. Was like a savant. Like this guy could play music. This guy, here's such a random thing, Jason. He could whistle better than any human being. I know. Whistle? Like, we looked up the world's greatest whistler, listened to what that person whistled. He imitated it right there on the spot. So just a wildly interesting dude, but was stealing from the business, was hanging around with a girl that I had just dated, that he was kind of advising me to break up with, because I wasn't sure. You go to your friend for advice. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling it. And he's like, oh, well, you should break up with her, right? Which he never did. And so he did all these things, and then he kind of just like.
So how did you separate? Because a lot of times that's the end of the business.
Yeah, he up and disappeared. So the business was done because he basically disappeared on me, kind of left me holding the bag. And we owed money to people, and he was taking care of all of that side of the business. He was doing the sales. He was managing accounts. I was really focused on the creative. I had forgotten in myself personally, like my ability to do sales and business development and connect. I really just kind of had my nose in the just purely creative aspect of things. So we went our separate ways, shockingly, somewhat amicably. Like, we cooperated with each other, basically. The money that we owed to people, we worked together to make sure we paid that off. And so he didn't disappear on those responsibilities.
Hi there, agency owners. Let me ask you, are you ready to scale your agency without increasing your overhead costs? If yes, then you need to know about E2M Solutions. Now, E2M is the #1 most reliable white label partner for agencies. They specialize in web design, WordPress development, e-commerce, SEO, and content writing. They basically do all the heavy lifting, which frees you up to focus on growing your agency. Now, here's the best part. E2M is just not another vendor. With over 10 years of experience, their team of over 300 experts has a track record of delivering for more than 300 agencies. They're your strategic partner. They deliver on time every time, so you can focus on what you do best. Now, E2M's mission is simple: to help 500 agencies increase their revenue and profit margins with white label services that actually work. And to help you get started, they're offering a special deal, 10% off for the first 3 months, but act fast because it's only a limited time offer. So head over to e2msolutions.com/smartagency to check out their transparent and their flexible pricing. Trust me, if you're ready to grow without burning out, E2M is the partner you've been looking for. That's e2msolutions.com/smartagency. Go check them out and tell them Jason Swank sent you.
How'd you rebuild that reputation? Once that gets out, it's pretty tough.
It's really tough. Now, I think that I managed to be the recipient of a lot of sympathy because a lot of people knew who he was and they knew who I was. But there was always this, once I went my separate ways, it was shocking the amount of people that kind of came back around and called me up and said, dude, we always wanted to just work with you. Oh man, that must have been rough. Oh, tell me some story. Because he was he was a fascinating and compelling person. And so people were really even compelled that ask me questions about him. Like,
where's this dude now? Is he in jail?
No, I got to be real cautious here. I don't want to say any names. I haven't spoken to him in years, but something did pop up recently about some sort of scandal and involving this guy. I think he lives more in the Toronto area now. And there was some sort of like scandal and his name was attached to it. And one of our friends in common was, did you hear about this? And we looked it up. I feel so bad for your audience right now because I'm doing all of these things that they're like, oh my God, I want to know more about this. And they're trying to figure out how they could look it up. There's no way. Like it would be so hard to put it together. And it's again, it's money related scandal.
Once you probably do it once, you're going to keep doing it again. So
I think it's too tempting. I think that when you have an appetite or a capacity to do some stuff that's slippery, I think, again, I don't love when people say slippery slope because I think they use that argument falsely with a lot of things. But I think there are a few things where if you allow yourself to have the capacity to do something, you can inch your way towards being the frog boiling in water. Next thing you know, the degree of things you're doing is so preposterous to what you ever believed was possible. So you just don't even go there. Don't even do any of it.
Yeah. Well, kudos to you to kind of getting out ahead of that.
There wasn't much choice, bud.
Right.
There wasn't much choice. I ended up on my own for a while, and then I got a business partner about a year later, another business partner, one of the worst names though. Like this guy had the worst name. I'll tell you what his name was. Jason. Oh God, these Jasons.
I mean, you can't trust these Jasons.
You can't trust these guys.
I mean, they're shady characters.
Shady characters. So business partner number 2, it's funny.
I'm surprised you brought in another business partner.
I'm surprised I did too. It was about a year later. Jason had approached me with this cool business concept he was working on that was like, you could order food from any restaurant and get it delivered to you. And this is like pre-skip the dishes, Uber Eats. None of this even exists yet. Cool concept. I'm like, I think there's one other person somewhere else, like an American company doing something similar. And I'm like, this is a brilliant idea. And he hires me. And I'm like, how many restaurants do you have on board? And Jason's like, none. His business partner, he had a business partner. He's in charge of that. And I go, well, how about this? I know you want to hire me to do a video for you, but how about I get some restaurants on board and you pay me to get these restaurants on board? And he goes, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know, let's do $1,000 a pop. Every restaurant I get on, you pay me $1,000. And about 2 weeks later, I think, and his business partner had been working for months, right? Had nobody on board. He's like, yeah, they're a little like sketchy. This is who I've been working on. But about 2 weeks later, I had 30 restaurants on board.
Did he catch you a good check?
He was like, okay, can we renegotiate that price? I didn't expect this. And I was like, 100%. I kind of had an expectation. Like, as I'm doing this, I didn't realize like how kind of easy it was going to be. And so I kind of felt bad for him along the process. It's a startup, all of this. So we worked something out. He was a phenomenal graphic designer and a really solid developer. And I was like, listen, we could pay a lot of this off because I have clients that need this stuff and I've got a few things. So can you help me with this? He said, yes. We had a great working relationship off the hop. And then eventually we were like, well, let's just turn this into a business. And there you go, business partner number 2 until
That's cool.
that ended. That one lasted like 9 years.
That's cool. Yeah, it's amazing how business partners a lot of times come together because you know how to do something that the other one doesn't, and vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
And so my old business partner with solar, we came together because we were outsourcing each other. He would outsource the creative to me. I would outsource the programming. And the only reason we came together was he got us to attend a trade show, and we brought on a salesperson for the both of us, but we were so cheap at the time. We only wanted to do one card, business card.
Okay.
We joined the companies.
Okay. Yes, that's how it happens. Some people think it's like this really dramatic thing, and it's as simple as like, dude, we can't design 2 different.
It's literally like, how do I stop doing this shit?
Yeah.
And then, like, oh, this person can do that shit that I don't want to do.
Yeah,
Right.
that's exactly what it is. And I don't want to pay, I can't afford to pay somebody to do this. So it just made sense to partner. Same situation with Jason until it just wasn't until.
When did you know it was, let's split?
There's like some personal complications too. Again, like it always happens. I love the guy. We still work together. I still hire him to work for my agency. He hasn't hired me to work for his agency yet. So I'm going to call him out for that. I'm like, dude, come on. I keep hiring you. I guess maybe he's just more valuable than I am. No, it just came to a point. He ended up moving to Toronto, moved to the big city, the big old city. And he, with his girl at the time, her and I didn't get along, which is very weird. It was just one of those scenarios where
maybe she liked you.
No, God, no. I don't think it was that. I think it just personality differences. Here's the truth, and I'll be really honest. It's like I had a lot of influence over Jason. We had a really good relationship, but I had a lot of influence over him in regards to we need to get things done. I'd be on top of him, especially if things aren't getting done. So I'm contacting them in the evening or on the weekend sometimes. And we got to get this done. So I don't care what you're doing right now. This has to be done. This is our responsibility. So the significant other doesn't always like the person on the end of that line because it's taking away from their time. And so
makes sense.
That's unfortunately the way it is because listen, you guys are doing stuff. It's probably costing you money. And like that money is coming from somewhere, but whatever. It is what it is. It just kind of fell apart.
What'd you learn from the 2 partners?
I learned from the 2 partners that there's so many lessons, but one of the lessons I learned personally is I'm so much more capable than I gave myself credit for. I think a lot of people, especially that are like in my world that I get to interact with, they might see like a confident person. Oh, he's confident. He's at ease talking and, deep thinker. And I seem to have a lot of answers. Who knows if they're right or not. But, I like to believe the odds are typically in my favor because I put in the work and the time and I try to analyze things as deeply as possible. And I also trust the intuition that I've built with the knowledge that I've inputted into the machine. But I think that it's like the first business partner, I wasn't doing sales or account management. Hey, man, I love people. I thought you had to be a certain type of salesperson to run a business. And it's like, no, you just have to like be a person that's not shy to ask questions or to kind of figure out like systems of being like straight up. It's like, what are we working on here? What's the scope of this project? What do you guys want to achieve? So those I learned along the way that, okay, I could handle that stuff. I could handle that. And then a certain side of the creative aspect is like, there were certain creative aspects that I started to give up to a business partner to things that I could also achieve or hire and manage and be the creative artistic director that I want to be. And I think those are a couple of things, but how resilient I am. I think this is what you learn in business. If you're in business for a long time, and like Jason, you've been in business for a long time. Jason, I bet you that you've seen so many competitors come and go, right? Competitors that you thought were like, they're like really good or whatever, and then they're gone and you're still going. And they found something else, or they're working for some sort of institution where they're kind of like in a back corner, maybe doing, I don't know, design.
They're in the closet.
They're copies. Yeah, working in a back closet. And here you are still going, still building, still learning, still connecting. And that's because like entrepreneurship is in your soul, right? But also you're freaking resilient. How many times have you had a chance like to quit where if you quit, everybody would understand?
Oh, I can't count that high.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like you're given like life, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, like whatever. If you believe in like some sort of like force, I think that it constantly you're being presented outs, and is like, here's a nice little out for you right here. You're gonna take it, and in those moments, you might consider it, you might weigh it, but some part of your, like in your stomach, it goes, you ain't going anywhere, bud.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think to kind of sum up really kind of this whole episode, we have a lot more capabilities than we actually really know at the time. I think, from my story to your story, like we brought on partners because I felt less than to do it alone. And it's a very lonely road to do it alone. And a lot of times you're like, well, I don't know. I've never run a business before. I've never worked for an agency. How does this even work? Like I remember my first client, I always joke about, they asked me to send them an invoice. I didn't even know what an invoice was.
Dude, they were asking me to send them an invoice. Similar thing happened, but they were asking for just like the invoice number. It was some number that is like super benign. And I was like, does it have to match something? Like I'm putting so much thought because I just don't know how to get it.
I didn't even have Google. Google didn't exist.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to think. I'm like, Google, I think Google at least existed when I started. Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even have that as an option.
Yeah. So
I don't feel like Google was good when I started. I think Google was just making up answers for me.
It probably was. But I think the thing is we're so much more capable, and if we have an open mindset, you can learn something every day. Because when I sold the first agency, I thought I was at my max at, hey, I can never go higher than what we were. But then looking back now, I'm like, man, I could have grew it 10 times bigger, with all the stuff I know now. And it's constantly, people always say like, who to hire rather than the how. But I also look at it as like, who do you actually need to become as well? So it's like, who to hire, who do you need to become, and just keep pushing, knowing things are going to suck a lot of times, but you just got to keep, pushing through it. So
I agree. You nailed it. I don't want to open up another can of worms. I'm just going to say this really quickly. Again, I was having a conversation today about the placebo effect. Like, not enough time is spent talking about the placebo effect. We just accept it. We've just all as a society, we're not going like, what is happening with that? Like, we're just like placebo effect. That's just a thing. Like every drug that you have, they test against placebo. Everything, they have to test against placebo. And we're not sitting there going, wait, placebo. Can we just slow down a second and just go, what's going on here with this placebo effect? Oh, no. That's just a thing that your mind will replicate basically any drug that exists. And it will do the exact same functions in your body. Wait, what is my mind doing? Like nobody's going around. Nobody's denying. Yeah, we live on a world that you have people denying like the shape of the earth. You know, we fight over everything. Guess what? I haven't seen a channel dedicated to, like, being like the placebo effect isn't a real thing, or that doesn't happen. I've never seen that yet. And it's
Yeah.
the craziest thing. So if you could just accept, we could all accept, maybe this is the thing that brings us all together, Jason, is if we could accept the fact that our mind has the ability to do so much more than we could ever imagine. We could accept that we could achieve literally, okay, let me be friggin' literal here, actually literal, just about anything within like reason that we set our mind to. Like if a placebo effect exists, like fuck it. Can I swear?
Oh yeah.
Fuck it, guys. Anything's possible. Do it. Just go every time you're doubting yourself, just go placebo effect. Jesus. All right. I'm doing this.
Well, awesome. Well, Cliff, thanks so much for coming on the show and chatting with all of us. And for everyone listening, if you guys enjoyed this and you are feeling kind of isolated from running your agency and you really want to be around other amazing agency owners that understand what you're going through, can see the things you might not be able to see, make sure you go to agencymastery.io. Check us out. We're a really tight-knit community that is always looking for the next best agency, owner to join. So go there. And until next time, have a swank day.